What it is, you guys, it is your girl Kadlac, and I'm coming to you today, October the 4th. I think it's after 10 o'clock, whatever. I don't know. Today has been a good long day. I was off today, so I was able to get really, I don't know. I think I just walked the block and chilled all day. Wasn't too much doing anything. I was supposed to get my hair done today by someone, but I get in touch with them through Facebook. So I woke up to Facebook not working, Facebook, Instagram. So it was the most trying to figure out, like checking my analytics, and then I go check my posts and see how well my stories, this, and that. I go down the list of social medias, and it started with Facebook. So I'm like, okay, like, is the whole internet down? And then later I learned that it was just Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, or whatever. So that's how my day started. So guys, I got a little story. What I'm going to start doing is, I guess everybody is not here for prison wife life, even though I know there's like 1,000,001 prison wives out there. But I guess y'all not feeling that too much. So I got to boost this channel up. So, I am a full person. Like, prison wife life is not the only thing that's going on in my life. But, that's what I wanted to target in this channel, to give support, help, let people actually see how I live my life. Because every day in life, I'm a freaking prison wife. But, I decided to start a new playlist, which this is actually an old idea. I had this friend that I work with in a restaurant. It was a cartoon themed restaurant. So it was crazy. I used to wear this little jumpsuit, overall jumpsuit, and a straw hat. But me and this friend, we had so much fun working together because I had that sarcastic humor and he definitely had that sarcastic humor. So every time I would be running into work, like running, because I do way too much. I was in school, I was working full time. My daughter, really, our daughter Money had me running around. And she would love to tell me things at the last minute. Mom, this has to be done now. And I'm just now telling you. Not like my life wasn't like all crazy and juggling everything, but also she was like randomly chucking, tasks at me or whatever. So life was the most, and I still had to work, had to be a mother, this, and that. I got my little nephews that are always under me. So it was crazy. So every day that I would come in, he's like, now, Keita, please tell me what crazy story you got today. Because I don't know. Okay, y'all know I kind of hint towards it. I got some bad luck. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, I can ask for rain and it's not gonna, it's gonna shine because I asked for rain. Or I can ask for sunshine and it's gonna rain because I asked for the sunshine. It's like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And then, non-jokingly, people say, oh, Keita, because you're so negative. And I reanalyze myself because I don't want to be a negative person. So I'm like, okay, Keita, you got to be more positive. You got to speak things. You got to write them down and this and that. So I go back to the drawing board, and it's still like, even though I put out positivity, it feels like maybe I'm just blind to it, but it feels like bad things happen when I put out positive, and when I put out negative, bad things happen as well. So it almost sometimes feels like, to me, no matter what I do, I get the most to happen. So he was like, girl, your life should be a sitcom. Them crazy things that happen to you, like, you should be a sitcom. And I was like, yeah, like Everybody Hates Chris. Like, definitely my life is like that. Y'all remember how Chris used to try to be like, he used to try to do the right thing, but the wrong thing just always happened to him. And it was almost comical. And that's how I feel like my life is. So I'm starting this Everybody Hates Kadlac playlist where, you know, you can get another side of my life. Some of these stories are going to be bad because I had a lot of crazy, weird, off the wall, bad things happen to me. But a lot of them, they are bad, but I mean, they funny too. Because I'm like, are you for real? So I got one from today. It's not the most of the craziest stories, but today was one of those days. So it started out with the Facebook thing. I couldn't check the Facebook and wasted all that time or whatever. And to me, time is very precious. I hate to waste a second. If you knew me in real life, you would know that I'm always running, always trying to do this and this. And when I was younger, I used to actually feel accomplished. I would be like, wow, I did this. I tend to the kids. I did that. I did my homework. I went to work. I went to several jobs and I did this. And I used to feel really accomplished. But as I got older, it made me feel horrible when I looked at all the things I did, because when I look at all the things I did, I don't see much in return from what my struggle. So now it kind of aggravates me when I do team way too much. I used to love to do team way too much because it made me feel empowered that, hey, I can handle everything. But now it's like when things didn't, you know, turn out the way you planned them at all, no matter how hard you freaking try. Now I hate doing extra. So I hate to waste time. I hate to do more and stuff like that. So today it started out with the Facebook that wasted like an hour and some of my time. So I started feeling like, I hate waking up late. Even though I stay up till 5 a.m, I still want to wake up like super early, which means I don't sleep a lot, because I feel like all that sleep, I'm not getting things done, and I could be making videos and I could be editing and I could be furthering this story that nobody wants to freaking hear. But you know, that's just me. That's how I am. I want to always be busy. Not that I want to, but I feel like if I sit still, nothing is moving, which actually I really think I do need to sit still for a while, but it's very hard. So I was aggravated already about wasting an hour or something. So I'm like, okay, that's all right. We're going to just flow through this day. I got up, I went walking, I watched YouTube, and I reviewed the videos I put out. I put out 2 videos yesterday. I bet y'all didn't check them out. But that's cool though. So, I reviewed those videos, went to see how good they did. And, you know, like I said, I put myself in the seat of the viewer. So I'm doing that. So then I go, and my dad, actually I had a chiropractor's appointment. You know, my body is all broken up. And thank God with the chiropractor, I'm actually slowly healing. Like I've gotten like smidgets better. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I used to have daily headaches. Like it was a matter of time before I had a excruciating headache, like almost like a migraine every single day in my life. Okay, so now I don't have headaches every single day. I randomly have headaches, and that is a big accomplishment. I used to go through a bottle of Excedrin almost every single week, which is bad, horribly bad. But I would rather, you know, just not be in pain and think about consequences later. So the chiropractor does help. So I'm like, okay, I got my chiropractor appointment today. So I got a little time to create before my chiropractor appointment. I go take my walk. So then my dad's like, hey, you gonna go get food for everybody? Because, you know, they're still remodeling the kitchen. Nobody can cook. So I, you know, go out and get them food. I kind of tend to like whatever errands that anybody needs around the house. Hey, I'm your go-to girl because, you know, Kadlac gets it done. I'm the babysitter. I'm everything, like all the way around the way girl. Well, I don't know. What did a roundaway girl mean back then? I don't know. Maybe I wasn't a roundaway girl, but you know what I mean. I'm your go-to girl. I'm the one that gets it done. So I go out and get food. So now this is where the day gets kind of like, I be want to just knock it out because now I had took my shower, but my chiropractor does not want me to shower no less than an hour before the appointment because they do this temperature check thing. Like they scan your body to see like where the actual problems and the pain and the pinching nerves are. So if you take a shower, it changes your temperatures. So I have to take a shower like way prior, but no less than an hour. So I'm like, okay, so I have like an hour and a half to spare. So I got my little shower, help my sister get her shower because y'all know I mentioned that I have to take care of her because she has epilepsy. That was in one of my other videos that you probably didn't watch. But that's where a lot of my time goes to as well because I have to help her a lot. She has epilepsy and stuff like that. So I have to get my shower. Then I have to make sure she gets her shower safely. A lot of work. And then whatever she needs, like if she needs to go to the store, today she had some errands, so I have to take her to do her errands as well. So I was trying to combine it all up together. So it starts when I'm like, she's like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go by the ATM to, I guess she had to take care of her bills, whatever. I don't know. So I take her by there. And usually I usually park. And I mean, I keep a watchful eye on my sister because she can, just like that, she's gone. She'll be standing up and then she'll be boom on the ground. So I have to stay very near to her. So I'm like, okay, well, the ATM's right there. So usually I walk up there with her. But I had my nephew in the car, so I'm like, I can't really, I don't really want to take him out the car seat. He is 4 years old, but I don't want to take him out the car seat and then walk around and then go to the ATM and then come back, put him back in the car seat. Like, that's a lot. So I'm like, okay, so maybe I could just watch her out the door right here. I pull up right alongside the ATM. Right alongside the ATM. And I'm like, okay, there's nobody there. There's no line. So she could just quickly go up there, get her whatever she needed and come on back. Do you think it went the way I arranged in my head? I'm waiting. Girl, you know it didn't go that way. You know that ain't what happened. Baby. She gets out the car. I'm parked right in front. She gets out the car, and as she is like 2 feet from the ATM, whew, somebody comes cutting across and gets right in front of her. I'm like, where the heck this lady even come from? Did she like drop out the freaking ceiling or what? So I'm like, okay, like, hurry up, lady. Like, come on now. I know she can't take too long. She doing a transaction. 10 minutes later, you know that little SpongeBob voice? I'm like, this lady is really like, what the heck are you doing? Are you doing your whole life savings like right now? What in the heck? Like you dropped out the freaking air. You skipped in front of her, really. Because I knew that lady seeing her already over there. Then my sister, like, she is like, ooh, you got a couple of strikes with me. You do something to me once. Okay, we cool. You do something to me twice. Oh, all right. Oh, girl, I see where we at. I understand. Okay. All right. Now I got to watch you, but we still all right. But no, my sister, one time, baby, she finna address it. So I'm like, oh, dang, this lady just cut her off. So she is finna go. And if you know anybody that has epilepsy, when they get excited, any major change in emotion, like getting really sad or getting really happy or getting like irritated or aggravated can put you into a seizure. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I see my sister like rubbing her head. I'm like, oh, Oh boy. So I got to brace myself. I got to hurry up and take off my seatbelt and be ready, to get out this car if I see her, looking like she's about to fall or whatever. So finally, I guess maybe it took about 6-7 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. Finally, my sister goes up there. She makes her action. And I'm like, okay. So finally she finished. She gets in the car safe. I'm like, thank you, Lord. She did not fall out. Like, thank you so much. So we were able to get through that without her having a seizure or whatever. So we get ready to go get the fish or whatever. Well, she gets in the car and she's like, I'm like, Krista, what happened? There was nobody at the ATM. She said the lady was actually sitting down. And as soon as she got almost to the ATM, she just jumps in front of her. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you didn't say nothing? She was like, yeah, because she was old. I'm not going to disrespect an old person, which I'm glad she has that, mentality. But I'm like, oh, okay, that's what saved her. Her age saved her. And so then after that, we go to pick up the fish that I ordered. I ordered all of us a fish plate, catfish, and got my nephew some little barbecue wings or whatever. So I ordered it was 4 plates of catfish and fries. And then it was 1 plate of hot wings. No, barbecue wings. I'm sorry. So then I go up there and I'm picking up my order. I'm like, well, actually the baby don't want fish. So, they always want the freaking McDonald's. He wanted McDonald's fries. So I take him over there. McDonald's drive-thru is long AF. I'm like, okay, we can go inside because I'm waiting on my fish, whatever. So we good. I can go inside. So I go in. They are moving on sloth mode. You remember that? I don't remember. Zootopia. When they went in the DMV and it was all the sloths that they were moving like barely. They were barely moving. That is exactly how that McDonald's was. Like they had a bunch of sloths up in there working. So finally we get the little fries or whatever. We get out of there. I'm like, okay, well, at least my fish should be ready because now I'm cutting it close, but I'm gonna make it to my appointment, which I'm like, I hate being late. He knows I'm always freaking late, but okay. So I go in. They want the last 4 of your number, your phone number that you called from. So I'm like, I could just pick up my food and go head on. I get in there. She hands me a bag. I pay and she hands me a bag. And I'm like, okay, so where's the rest of my food? She's like, oh, that's all your food right there. And I'm like, okay. So I'm looking in the bag, looking through the bag. I see the hot wings. Pull that out. I see the plate of barbecue wings. Why I keep saying hot wings? That's what I like, hot wings. Pull that out. Pull 1 fish plate out. I'm like, so where's the rest? She's like, yeah, you ordered 1 fish plate and 1 barbecue wings. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I ordered 4 fish plates and 1 barbecue wing. She's like, oh, okay, so it's going to take 10 minutes. Girl, I'm on my way to my appointment. Like, are you for real? I really planned that far ahead. I planned everything to a T. And it never goes as follows. Like that. Hold on, y'all. Light going on. So I'm like, great. I'm going to be late for my appointment now. Okay, what can I do? I can't go home with just food for myself and one of my nephews. So I'm like, okay, so I got to wait for the other, wait for the fish plate. All right, let's go ahead and wait. So I go and I get ready to put the food. I put the food in the car. My sister's sitting in the passenger seat. She's sitting there with my nephew. Because I thought I was going to literally run in and get the food and not. But things don't go the way I planned them. Go in and get the food. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe they'll get done faster. They'll just rush it and get it done fast. So I put that food down and I get ready to go back in. As I get ready, now I'm free-handed. I don't have no food in my hand. I don't have anything, just my phone. I'm walking in. I happen to look down at my shirt, this shirt here. Look down at my shirt. About right here. I'm like, what the heck is that on my shirt? And you know I'm legally blind, so I had to focus in. I'm like, what the heck? What is on my shirt? I look again. Oh, it looks like a freaking big. This thing was about this size. Some type of freaking spider just sitting, resting his behind up on my stomach right here. So I'm about to freak out. I'm like, where did this even come from? So it's just on my stomach. So I'm like, oh my God. And my face is like, when you're looking down, your face is like a straight shot from your stomach. So I'm like, if I kind of freak this thing out, then it could attack me like right away. This thing was like a light brown tan spider, hairy. I'm like, why is it on me? So I'm up there trying to shake my little shirt out like that. Just barely shake it out so it can fall off. And that thing comes up a little. I'm like, oh my God, are you really for real? This is really happening? So I take the shirt and I shake it a little bit more. So I shake it off of me. I'm shaking my shirt. And meanwhile, a car is driving past me. I'm shaking my shirt so much I'm pulling the arm. I'm about to take this shirt off. Baby. We about to, no. There is a freaking big old brown spider on my freaking shirt. This shirt got to go. So I had nothing but my bra under. So I was about to snatch that darn shirt off and swing it. And I'm like, finally, I kept shaking because I had dropped my purse on the floor, my little wallet thing. I dropped my phone, everything. I'm like, this thing is really like, and then I'm thinking it's poisonous because it's like all hairy and stuff. Not like I know a lot about spiders, but I know them type. They didn't look, woo. So finally, I run over I think I get it off. I don't no longer see it on front of me, but I'm like, it could be on my pants. It could have went in my shirt. It could be in my hair. I'm like, where is this freaking spider? I'm freaking out. Like, where this freaking spider at? It could be in my shirt. So I go to the car. And my sister, I'm like, Kristen, help me, please get that. Where is it? And I'm throwing my hair around because I'm thinking, imagining. Y'all remember that story of the girl that had the little, she had the weave braids and didn't know that the spider was in her hair and it actually bit her in her head and she passed or whatever. So I'm thinking of that. I'm like, oh, really? So this is how it ends, this way, like that. So I'm like, please check my hair, check my clothes. And Kristen's like, you're good. I don't see anything. I'm like, are you sure? But I got on this bright green shirt. So maybe it's good that I picked this bright green shirt today. So then I'm like paranoid. I'm thinking that these darn, like for real, these spiders are all over me. Y'all remember that song that I put out last week? My mom playing tricks on me.
Playing by the sword. I take my boys everywhere I go because I'm paranoid. Keep looking over my shoulder, peeping around corners. My mind playing tricks on my Hates Kadlac.
That's exactly what it felt like. Now it feels like spiders are all over me. So I go into the store and I'm like, by now, after all this my little fish should be ready by now. So as I'm going in, this lady is holding the door for me. And she's like, girl, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. She said, I thought you was finna strip right in the middle of that road. Like, for real. I said, I was. I sure was thinking about tearing everything off. But I'm like, well, I'm kind of naked under my clothes, so I don't know if I can do that. Can you imagine seeing that like from afar if you didn't know that it was a spider on me and someone's just in the middle of the street just tearing their clothes off? Like crazy. So that was my day today. And that's going to kick off my playlist, my new playlist, Everybody Hates Kadlac. So, please, please listen. Like, it takes like nanoseconds to push it. But it will help me. It'll help me further Marcello's story. It'll help us become a family again. So please share. That also takes nanoseconds. And comment. You can look if you ain't got time to type, because you know I got carpal tunnel and it's very hard to type. I feel you on that. Give me a little heart emoji. Something, some interaction so that I can continue to make YouTube. Because if not, baby, I'm about to be bye, like for real. But anyways, guys, it's your girl Kadlac. Oh, you guys, I almost forgot one of the biggest parts of that story. How about after all of that, fighting off spiders, fighting off like crazy folks that you order ahead and you don't get what you ordered, like you do all this strategic planning of your life and none of it goes like planned. Do you know? I rush and I make it to my appointment, right? Try to go in the door, fidgeting on the door. It's locked. I'm like, okay. Is my appointment today? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is today. And my neck hurting. Like, I really need some relief. Like, I'm sure it's today. It has to be. Do you know, I realize and go, because I couldn't get in. I'm calling. Nobody's answering. So I'm like, okay, well, let me look at my phone and see did they call me. They called to reschedule my appointment. So I didn't even have a chiropractor appointment today. The doctor went out of town. So I'm like, wow, like for real. That's really Everybody Hates Kadlac. For real. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed that story. I got some way more crazier ones. Maybe I should get into number 2 right now. Let me hit y'all with both of them. Both. BOFF. Both.
It's a Kadlac.